Hey, what's up, everybody? Video 44 coming at you with another video. All right, headed to my therapy session with Lydia for the first time in like 2 months now, almost 2 months. Uh, a lot has happened since I last had that session with her, so I'm sure we're not gonna have enough time to talk about everything that needs to be talked about. But it'll be good to catch up with her and resume what our intentions were. Trying to figure certain things out specifically for her study upon myself. Now that we've had almost a year worth of sessions, I think we can start working on some of the tactics that we wanted to try to approach some of these challenges that I've been facing, or what I perceive as challenges, or what have you. So, yeah, looking forward to resuming that process. It's been a long time coming. A lot has happened, as I said, so it's time to get back to it, man. My day has been good. I think I woke up this morning feeling pretty fresh. I don't feel sick. That's the most important thing. My stomach has been pretty good for the most couple of days. Of course, I told you about that cheese thing, and it did take a little while to digest, and as it did, I started having a little trouble, but nothing like what I would expect. So I was very thankful for that. And you know what I mean, we just try to continue to find things that work for me. I've been pulling back on my portions, particularly with my oatmeal, and that's really worked out for me, coupled with my ab exercises that I've been incorporating into myself every day. So I feel like we're on the right path. I see myself heading in the right direction. I know what it takes to get what I want in that regard, and now I'm just pushing it every day to try to get it. So that's nothing new. You know how I am when it comes to my workouts. Hey, another new conversation for anybody that follows me. Lakers won last night. I was happy about that. It was the first game they've won since the third. Of course, we had a couple games postponed because of the fire. But that was really cool, and did content for that. I was very thankful. Another thing that I think is very good that I saw was what my niece is trying to do. Lisa, my sister Diane's daughter. Shout out to Lisa. What she's trying to do is put together somewhat of a time capsule on her socials. She's trying to work this situation out. She's a realtor, but she's also a photographer. For which I didn't really know she was a photographer, but she's excellent. And what she's trying to do is get all of the information on the people who've lost homes in Altadena, her hometown. And she's trying to, more or less come together and put that capsule of all of their information, all of their testimonies and things, pictures or what have you, that they can find, if any, and just to tell their stories of each and every person who lost their homes in the city of Altadena. So I believe she calls herself 626 LISA. I think it was LISA 626 on Instagram. But yeah, she is awesome, and I love to support what she's doing there. I don't think she says her name is Lisa. It's 626 LIS something or LIZ something. I don't remember. But yeah, that's my niece, man. That is my sister's daughter, and I'm very proud of her. And just want to see her project succeed, and ultimately the stories get told of all the people from her city, man. One of the most important aspects of this fire is how it destroyed a middle-class black town almost entirely. And they talk about the Palisades, they talk about this, they talk about that. But this right here, this is something that needs to be understood all across the globe, man. Also, I started my Red Note account. And that's the new Chinese, basically TikTok. And they want us to get away from TikTok because they said China is all influenced in it. So what do? We go to the one that China's actually running, just to give them all the finger. So I'm all with it. And I'm on Red Note now, BDF44, spell out 44. I haven't put up my picture. I haven't really done anything other than start the account and maybe follow some influencers. But I'm on there, man. I'm not kidding. I'm all for connecting the world, especially with people that this country's government says is our enemy. If the government says they're your enemy, they're likely your friend. Because this enemy is here within our country. We know that. And so I'm looking forward to being a part of the generation that can bridge the gap between people they told us to stay separate from and look at as rivals and be afraid of them and stay away from them, and this is what we know about them, and this is why we need to stay away from them. I don't trust you at all, no more. I don't trust you. If you tell me they are enemy, then damn it, I want to be close to them. I want to know everything there is to know, and I want them to know me too. so we can bridge the gap and phase you out, American government. It's exactly what needs to happen. All these people are spearheading this genocide doesn't belong in The Hague. And I was very pleased at what I saw from a gentleman, I think his name was Max Blumenthal, footage of him today addressing Anthony Blinken, the butcher of Gaza. And what he was saying to that man is, you know, asking him the tough questions that we all would want to ask him. And he said, what are you doing? Why does this happen? Why did you allow this to take place? And all these difficult questions that he's asked that man, I think, were questions that we all need to hear him ask that man. So, of course, they escorted him out of the press conference there and manhandled the man and all of that, but not before he was able to say plenty that is going viral right now, addressing Anthony Blinken, the butcher of Gaza. And so that's really what it is, man. We understand that the walls are closing in on those who've been doing this evil deed. Israel, of course, reneged on the ceasefire agreement. Surprise, they killed another one of their own hostages. Surprise, it shouldn't be. And then what we said was going to happen? Last person surprises me. As I told you guys, the moment I trust anything comes out of Israel's mouth is the moment I fly wings and fly home. That's grow wings and fly home is what I said, and I meant it too. That's the likelihood of me trusting anything that comes out of Israeli mouth as it pertains to their government, their representation, or the settlers. I don't trust nothing that they say. If they say that the sky is blue, I'm going to assume it just turned gray. Do you understand what I'm saying? Literally. So, that ceasefire agreement, they have since killed 75 people since agreeing to that thing, and now they're essentially saying that because Hamas is trying to extort them by way of the agreement, somehow they're reneging on that agreement, and if, I guess, either pushed it back to next Sunday, or because it's supposed to start taking place this upcoming Sunday, but I guess they said they want to push it back to next Sunday. There's a lot of conflicting reports, but the point is they're still killing people after agreeing to not. Surprise! Anyway, and so that's really the latest there. I saw pictures of babies that they've murdered since the ceasefire agreement has been agreed upon. Children laid out, slabbed out, no longer with us. Same old, man. Same old images. What is it, 468 days, I believe we're on right now? 468 days of genocide? I think that's where we are. So, you know, as I told y'all, man, there's only one way to stop Israel, and that's by way of force. That's it. The only way to stop Israel and America's genocidal alliance is by force. You got to either kill them or you got to bankrupt them. It's the only two ways. They're not going to be stopped unless they're forced into not being able to do this. It's not about whether or not they can survive. They're willing to die to kill. That's what people need to understand. It's about fulfilling the prophecy in their little evil ass book. That's it. Or book, series of books. That's what it's about. It's about fulfilling the prophecy. They don't care if it kills all of them. They don't care if it kills one of them. They don't care what happens to themselves as it pertains to doing this. They don't care about the suffering that they face for doing this or nothing if they starve out. They don't care about nothing, no amount of suffering or long-standing frustration or disagreement and burning bridges with alliances. They're not interested in any of those things as much as they are getting revenge for what they feel Amalek did to them. Whoever the hell Amalek is. I'm not as knowledgeable on that as I'd like to be, but I know of what it is that they're doing. They're fulfilling a spiritual prophecy that they truly and utterly live by and believe in. So whatever else is going on around that situation, including a land grab, is secondary. Whatever capitalism's interest is in the Middle East, it's secondary. It's all about the spiritual alliance with the fulfillment in their books. That's it. That's all it's about. And then when you start to understand it, then you don't expect for ceasefires and all that stuff. That's human stuff. That's man-made agreements to make you feel better about what they've already done in hopes that they won't do anymore. That ain't got shit to do with what they got going on. You know, if you keep your eyes on the prize, you know exactly what's going on. You ain't surprised by none of this. Nothing surprising. This is what they're doing. This is what they live for. They live to kill Palestinians. They live to annihilate Amalek. and the sons of Amalek, man. They're trying to wipe them from the face of the earth. And they believe, for whatever reason, that the Palestinians are the sons of Amalek. That's what I'm trying to tell you. There's no agreement to be had. You got to stop these people, like, by force. That's it. The world ain't big enough for the two of them. So when people who are following me apply that understanding to what it is they're looking at, they won't expect certain things that other people who aren't hearing what I'm saying are expecting. Oh, it's just a land grab. When they grab the land, they just want to push the Palestinians out. No, you don't get it. This is not about pushing the Palestinians out. It's about killing them. Do you understand what I'm saying? It's not about just sending them to the ends of the earth and in another country take them in. They want to take these people out. They don't want no remnants of their lineage on the planet anymore. So whatever plans that they're proclaiming in regards to the idea that Palestinians are supposed to survive this Nakba Part 2 or whatever the hell they call this, that is not true. No truer than the notion of a ceasefire. No, they want you gone, fam. If you're a Palestinian, they want you gone. And the truth will allow you the proper way to best defend yourself against this. Because a lot of what human beings are talking about and capitalists are talking about have to do with money being made and revenue and land being handed over to or to be built upon. All that stuff is absolutely and utterly not what they're doing here. This is a spiritual war. Spiritual. Capitalists play a role in it, but they're not the centerpiece of this. And the capitalistic agenda is not the focus at all for that for which is powering this. And that's what I think everybody needs to start waking up to and really believing and strategizing themselves around that notion. Whatever they're talking about in regards to you surviving is, believe me, if they tell you they're going to send you to other countries, Palestinian, trust and believe they plan on killing you when you get there. This is not a game. I'm not mistaken at all. They want you gone, man. And so that's what I'm telling you, like, Palestinian people don't have a choice but to be radical Hamas members. Like, that's the point. You on survival mode, you're on defense, and the enemy is intentional on being effective. You see? And that's why they're not able to follow through on any ceasefire agreements. There may be certain people within the government who are looking to be diplomatic into whatever way possible, but the spirit behind what it is they're doing is not governed by the rules that they hope to live by and benefit from and profit off of. It's not driven by that. And a lot of them, as close as they are to it, they're bankrupt to spirituality, so they don't understand that. They think they can negotiate their way around this circumstance, throw money at the situation, and speak a reason to the profit possibilities. That's not what's going on. They're not driven by wealth in this situation. Wealth is what they needed to obtain the leverage to do this. This was what it was about. And that's where people end up getting lost, because they see this Zionist entity being so intentional on gaining wealth and power that they thought the end game was infinite wealth and power. No, the end game was to kill Palestinians, sons of Amalek. That was the end game. Wealth and power was the what came with it, what was necessary so that they could do it. And so that's what I'm trying to tell people. It's petty killing that they really are about. They swore an oath 5,000 years ago to get Amalek back for whatever the hell they think Amalek did to them. Or they've convinced themselves that this is their fight, even though they're not actually that. Whatever the case may be, that's what's driving this. That is all that's driving this. So I just want people to understand that, man. There's too many people hoping for things that are not coming. Too many people on both sides hoping for things that are not coming, because they don't understand the moral of the game they're playing. The moral is not wealth. The moral is not to get no freaking hostages back. The moral of this game is not to see to it that America is able to use the Middle East to funnel things back and forth over the course of the next 300 years and build some type of smart world and all of this shit. None of that is, they don't give a damn about any of that. They don't care about any of that. Not really. Tell you where I think America has gone wrong. They thought because they're playing a certain game that has to do with gaining wealth and gaining power and world domination, that those they negotiate with work under the same pretenses and work under the same parameters. That's where they've gone wrong in aligning with Israel. Those who are making deals with Israel and alliance with Israel, I don't think they either understand what Israel's doing or they don't take it seriously and think they can work around it, as to which they would be the center of focus within the intentions of what takes place in regards to it. They feel that we'll work with the Israelis for a time, let them do their little Nakba, and then we'll swoop in and take over and all of this and that. That's what America is likely thinking. In my opinion, that's what the Blinkens and these idiots, that's what they're thinking. We'll just play along with these guys. We'll have them as they continue to be great at amassing immense amount of wealth and controlling the world. We align with them. It doesn't matter who we go up against because they're the most powerful entity in the world with their hand in the back pocket of everything important in the world. So if we stay close to them, we'll stay in power. And whatever they do end up getting themselves wiped out, we'll just pick up the pieces from where they left off and move on. I think that's what America's thinking. But we'll just go along with this. We got the propaganda machine in place. We'll just teach our people to get along with this. We'll do everything we need to do over the next 100 years to condition the minds of people to just let this be what it is. Just like we did with slavery, just like we did with how we annihilated the Indians, Native Americans. We will apply that same patient process to conditioning the minds of everyone who is awoken to just be okay with everything that's happened here, because we'll take over the Middle East just like we did America. In 100, 200 years from now, we'll have two Americas, and it'll be, you know, us world domination for America. But what I'm telling you is, America doesn't have a damn clue about who they're working with. They don't have a clue. And they are as powerful as to align with them no matter what, which means they probably are going to take over you when they're done doing whatever it is they want to do in the Middle East. It's not you picking up the pieces off of what they did. It's about them using that same mental leverage that they have over you and engaging in this war that you don't even really understand, but funding to hell to take over what it is that ultimately you've built as well. They're going to control you in a different way. And a lot of these politicians may understand that. They don't give a shit because they're small-minded earners. They just want to make a couple of dollars in their lifetime. They don't really care what happens. They'll move to France if it's over shit. But what I'm telling you is this: it's not going to play out how any of them think. It's not leading up to what they think it's leading up to. Neither side. It's not leading up to what you think. That you think you can control the earth, or that you think you can wipe out an entire race of people without there being some consequence for all of who involved, is foolish, because you move as if there's no entity governing the world itself. But if that were the case, then why would they be so hell-bent on killing an entity that praises God all day long? I keep telling y'all, if something doesn't hold any value or truth, they're not drawn to it to destroy it. As I've said in previous videos, if something ain't important, why do they need it? And see, that's the confusing question that they've yet to answer for themselves as they continue to go forward in this agenda. It's because the devil knows God exists and is at war with him. But the actors in play who are doing the devil's agenda thinks that they are the center of attention and that their intentions are the center of attention, and thus don't ask the difficult questions such as those. If God don't exist, why y'all care to kill the Palestinians so much? You telling me you believe that you're hell-bent on killing them because of what happened to you 5,000 years ago? No. You hell-bent on killing them because they're a perfect example of how not to be influenced by the devil's tactics to get into the minds and hearts of people to send them straight to the enemy themselves. The enemy needs the Palestinians and all of the Arab people off the earth because they're disciplined against the things that ultimately he uses to control all of us to do things he wants us to do. That's all it's about. That's the difficult question they've yet to answer. That's the difficult math that they've yet to figure out. They think they're doing this for one reason, but who powers them is doing it for an entirely different reason. And that's parallel to America's place in this situation with the Israelis. America think they're doing it for a certain reason. The Israelis are doing this for an entirely different reason. See how the devil confuses all parties involved in the same way? He's not a creative. I keep telling y'all, this is all levels of the same application of thinking, the same application of reality. And the way to defeat it is the same. Through the truth and the spreading of the truth and the communication, breaking down the spaces from which the enemy can use to control your brain. And then discipline against the things that he ultimately uses to keep you in his clutches. This is what the Palestinian example is all about. This is what the Arab and the Muslim example is all about. Showing the rest of us how to numb ourselves away from the things that the enemy uses. How to clip the strings on us as puppets of the enemy. That's why it's so important he wiped them out. So when you look at it from that understanding, you ain't waiting for no damn ceasefire because you know that's not what this is about. It's about the enemy being able to funnel as many spirits to the devil over the course of the time that the earth will spin, not just for this generation, but for many in the future. And he can't keep letting the Arabs show all of us how to clip those strings. That's literally all this is about. And so, look, there will be no ceasefire, man. That's not how this goes. What it will be, though, is likely the sides that are working with one another ending up turning on one another. Destruction from the inside out is how this probably ends. If you ask me, it ain't going to be nothing short of a God-given miracle that turns the energy of those who are working together against one another, and they ultimately wipe each other out. That's how this is actually probably headed to. That's what you're probably going to see. Not necessarily them agreeing to stop terrorizing who they call the enemy. No, that's not what it's headed. That's not what it's headed. Can I walk now? Fucking madman. Anyway, sorry about that, y'all. Just dealing with the minds of the people around me. When you talk about things that are going on bigger in the world, you got to pay attention to what's going on around you in the world. You can get hit by a car and they'll cut you down before you finish your message. And that's exactly what would have happened to me if I'd have went forward, because the person behind the person who was waiting for me to walk, even though it wasn't my light, was getting frustrated. So as soon as that person went, when they realized they had the right to go in the first place, the person behind them sped up when I had the right to walk. Never even looked in my direction. So it's like, yo, you got to be sharp out here, because that's how these people are. Especially if you're not paying attention. You will get hit by somebody like that. But anyway, regardless of what, man, I'm sharp as I need to be to keep myself alive right now. And what I'm telling you guys is this. The same application of what it is I just said has to be applied to everything that you're optimistic about in regards to this fight. Do not put your eggs in the basket of lies. Don't confuse behaviors that have already been proven. When somebody shows you who they are, believe them. Israel showed us exactly who they are. They're liars. And not only are they liars, but they don't really care that people see that they're lying, which is a very interesting dynamic psychologically, in my opinion. They're really not interested in being exposed for their lies because they have enough people pretending around them to push forward the narrative that they're aligned with the truth, regardless if they're lying or not. They got enough people around them reading their script to where you can say that they're lying, but they got people backing them up saying, no, this is the truth. If anybody in modern times ever listens to Whack 100 on Clubhouse, this is how he operates. He had about 6 or 7 people on the line agreeing with him no matter what he say, backing him up no matter what he's doing. So when he speak and say something, and then somebody come and challenge him on that, all of a sudden you got 8 and 9 voices coming at you, challenging you on the truth that you speak, drowning out your voice eventually to where you can't say anything at all, laughing so much at your truth that it don't even matter. Like that's a strategy that is often used to align with a narrative no matter what. You got enough people around you pretending that your narrative is the truth. You can just move however you want to move, and it's your conglomerate of liars versus the convictions of the person standing against you. And then who's paying attention around them and how convinced they are by one voice versus 8. And so it's like that's kind of the same strategy there. That's how Israel moves in a much larger, much more serious scale. They just keep a bunch of people around them that's going to agree with them no matter what the hell they say. Who's going to go along with their lie no matter how egregious it is or how much proof is in the faces of all of us believing against it. It literally doesn't matter. They're going to move how they move, and that's it. And so that's what I've come to understand. You don't lose your convictions because you understand it's a facade. And they're not coming with receipts. They're just coming with bravado and numbers of actors who will be rather convincing in their presentation of appearing to believe the lie. Psychological bullshit. It doesn't hold any weight. And it certainly doesn't come with any receipts. So that's what I'm here to tell y'all. All of us have receipts. Our pro-Palestinian people, we have receipts. We've seen the footage this morning of things that have taken place. Glory to the martyrs. You know, you can't tell somebody who's been looking at babies being killed every day for the last almost 500 days that what they've seen wasn't real and that you need to believe the people who are doing it. Like, it's not going to really work. You can have 9, 10, 12 credible voices telling me that I'm wrong, but my sight saw what I saw and I wasn't high. I didn't take any drugs. I wasn't drunk. So you're not going to be able to convince me that my eyes didn't see what they saw. And I think that's where we're at. That's kind of a parallel for what everybody else within this fight is looking at. But we saw what we saw. Now you can go ahead and say whatever you want to say or bring your fleet of actors together to sing your song and read your script and sing your praises. You can do that. But it ain't going to change the fact that we saw what we saw. Prolonged periods of evidence that we retained in a lot of cases. You can threaten to silence us. All that's going to do is give birth to more people who are more passionate about the truth. Because we're watching you silence us. See, there's a fleet of people who are looking through the lens of you being wrong, watching you go about trying to silence those who are telling the truth about your wrongdoings. Don't you know we can see you type stuff. That's what they're dealing with. And they're hoping that their truth doesn't spread too fast so they can find a way to just like work around it somehow. I guess that's the plan, try to figure something out. I don't know. But the truth is spreading like wildfire. It's not a whole lot they can do. People are learning, growing, waking up out of their stupors, waking up out of their ridiculousness, following them, trusting them and all that. They have to answer questions to themselves. They want to continue now that the truth is in their faces. It's going to be difficult. It's going to be difficult. That's what we was talking about yesterday. But I mean, it's what come with it, man. This is what waking up everybody looks like. And I'm telling you, man, I'm not afraid. I got a lot of thoughts in my head, concerns about what happens for others and maybe myself, but I ain't afraid. Because at the end of the day, you only alive for a certain amount of time. You only have the energy to do what I'm doing for a length of time. You better throw it all into it when you have it. Something's going to kill you either way, man. And there was many people who are dead today who were afraid about dying, and that's why they never told the truth about nothing. They're in their graves cold right now, and they live their lives for fear of dying. Doesn't that make any damn sense when you really consider it? They were trying to preserve what matters so much to them and all this and that. And there's many graveyards full of cowards that wouldn't speak up against certain things that they knew they should have. Acting like they was going to live forever and be punished forever for telling the truth. Cowards. They're where they belong. And that's the point. I am a living entity. And the fact that I am mortal is my leverage. That's the leverage. That I'm going to die any damn way. That's the leverage. People look at that as what is to be protected. Age is killing you any damn way. Age and your cultures, especially if you live in this Western world, is killing you anyway. While y'all afraid of what happens if you tell the truth, you continue to funnel things into your body that's going to kill you anyway. My leverage is how I choose to go about to live the limited life that I have. Do I want to go down as a coward, like so many others, who are afraid to say nothing, trying to preserve something that was going to disappear regardless? Their lives? Their lives. When you really consider it, man, you got a bunch of people doing all they can, struggling to hold on to life like that shit isn't depleting, like it isn't a hourglass running out of sand. It's all going. You're prolonging the inevitable, and most importantly, you're playing into the devil's hands so that more of what it is that ultimately you are victims of continues to get passed forward to more fleeting lives that are coming in the future. I don't want my kids to have to live their life worried about whether or not the truth is going to suffice. That's a plight my generation was dealing with. I don't want to have to worry about that for them. When I'm cold in my damn grave, sitting here trying to preserve something like it ain't going to be ending any damn way. I'm 40 years old. I'm going to be out of here 50 years flat at best, probably. Now you think I'm going to sit up here trying to hold on to my life like, oh my God, it's going to end? Yeah, the shit going to end. It's going to end. What goes on is what you pass forward, the legacy and the pain that you pass forward and the deterioration of the earth that others are going to have to inhabit. As you continue to do whatever you're trying to do, trying to establish whatever you establish, that shit is fleeting. Just like your body, it will die. Your cultures are forgotten, your religion's forgotten, dead, all of it. What passed forward? What you leave behind, your legacy, the good energy that you put out into others that gets passed through people. That stuff will outlive you. The good thing that you did for somebody else that inspires them to do a good thing for somebody else, that type of stuff, that energy outlives you. And so too the bad that you put out. People trying to hold on to something that ain't immortal. Trying to preserve something that ain't even staying. You ain't keeping none of this. Your little company, all this stuff, your little wealth, that shit is gone. It's as good as gone. You know, cultures, whatever you like. Oh, my favorite this, my favorite that shit is gone. And it's fleeting, man. It's like your life. What did you leave behind? Substance, wisdom. How you keep somebody else from suffering the same thing you went through. How you pass something good forward to someone else's children so that they don't suffer the ills that you did. I mean, that's the stuff that lives on, not your body, man. Not your legacy, not necessarily your religion or your interests. Or all these different things, these are man-made things, man. These are things that the enemy wants us to continue to value over that for which is going to help others in the long run, liberate others from the clutches of the enemy, man. That's what it's about. That's what I'm about. Quality of life holds a lot of weight, yeah, but that's what comes my way. And the more selfish I am, the more weakness and selfishness I'm in, that I harbor, the more that stuff holds weight. I need mine, I need mine, I need mine, I must have. I'm so intent on making life easy for me. I'm so intent on being safe because I can't stand what it looks like if I'm not, and all of these different things that honestly, in this society, we think are the most important things in the world, but the reality is, doesn't hold nearly as much weight as you sacrificing yourself for the greater good. Don't hold, not even close. And the people that this country is most afraid of, and the people they want you to be most afraid of, are those who are willing to throw their lives at circumstances without any concern or hesitation. That's strength. That is strength, discipline. So that you don't need none of the things that they tell you you must have. So that you're not influenced by the things that they wave in your face to tell you that they're most important and make you throw your life at those things. They hold no weight. Shiny objects. They are appealing to the weak, not the strong. The mentally tough have all the leverage because they're not influenced by the things that they use to put us in this position to be under their thumb. I do what I want, how I want to do it, and what I want to do is be better for others, not just for myself, to influence something that's greater than the culture that was handed to me by my forefathers and my ancestors. That's my leverage in life. While y'all measuring, oh, I need this, I need that, I gotta get this, I want this success, for what? Your body gonna die regardless. Your image and what you stood for stands in infamy, especially in the age of technology. It's the stuff that you did in this camera that ages a certain way or not. That's what I'm interested in. This is where I live forever, not in this body. That thing gonna be gone. It's gonna be a lot of people looking at my videos when my body is gone. But the wisdom that I pass forward is my legacy. So if I'm compromising this so that I can hold on to this, I done lost my way. I don't understand the fullness of what it is I can do. I'm still caught in the weakness of needing things that people are telling me I need within my random culture in this random hour. That stuff doesn't hold as much weight. And that's what I want people to understand, man. Whatever the story's told, yeah, whatever it is. There's many people who were living for themselves. They lived, they died. And anything they tried to do was whatever it ended up being. All they were was influence. One more influential space from which I could learn to not want to be anything like them. That's all they were. An example for me not to be like them. They lived for themselves. They compromised all integrity. They got what they wanted. It went however way they went, and they died. That stuff was lost. It didn't hold no value, man. And that's what I'm here to tell you. You want things that hold value in life, man. A lot of people are chasing things that don't hold any value, to keep themselves weak, to fulfill their weak desires, to fulfill their weak intentions, to make life easy on themselves, to make life harder on somebody else so it makes them feel better because that's just how they're wired. All that stuff is weak. They gotta power themselves up with numbers. They don't even know what's actually coming against them is the notion that you've done so. In a lot of cases, you just gotta huddle up with people. It's my this, it's my that. That stuff don't hold no weight, man. If you're not trying to pass forward something that's gonna help people survive tomorrow, it ain't doing much. If you're here to serve yourself, you're gonna be forgotten. I guarantee you're gonna be forgotten. You just pass forward as one more example of what not to be and what doesn't work for the greater good of tomorrow, man. And may our kids learn from all of us in that regard. May this be the last generation that's lost in this space, man. Because a lot of us are so lost in negative energies and devilish entities, cultures that are meant to destroy us, addicted to things that never made us any stronger, never made us any healthier, influenced by cultures that deteriorate our legacy and that of which pass forwards in our last name. People end up blaming us for hundreds of years for stuff that we all went along with today. Just a bunch of bull, man. Didn't hold no weight. Wasn't really valuable in any real way. Held no real substance. I'm telling you, that's what this world is about. It's a la la fa la la. I'm spinning in my own happiness because I did everything I could to stand on the backs of everybody else, and now I'm winning type bullshit. It didn't hold no weight, man. It was garbage. All of it. All of it. Celebrate me for my accomplishments. I worked so hard to get what I want, and now I am dead. It's over. In the ground next to the person that did nothing. You did nothing. Pass forward some substance that's going to help people survive tomorrow. It's going to help them understand the smallness in themselves and the greatness of their voice. It's going to wake them up from all these bad cultures and give them an understanding of how many choices they have to go in different directions than what's been set up for them, measures lined up by the enemy's imps to reach for instead of reaching for something greater, someone greater, making themselves look as if they're the center of everything. The world revolves around us, only for us to find out that that energy is shunned by the one who created us. That he wanted us to be unselfish. He wanted us to defer to him. He wanted us to give without being concerned about what happens when we do just that we be unselfish so that it reflects positively upon you. That's literally all he ever wanted. While we're sitting up here engaging in the nonsense we are, exalts ourselves, pat me on the back, feel sorry for me, look at what happened to me. You didn't care about no one else. And you raise your kids to do the same, and it's going to pass forward a very different way for them. That's what we come to understand. A lot of this stuff is harmless for us. We get to live and thrive and die. And our kids, they do the stuff we did. No, it doesn't work that way for them. They suffer in the new cultures that are coming for doing the shit that we did. If it's riddled in bad energy, then that's what's headed for it. While y'all pass it forward. Call yourself good parents, good influencers, good big brothers and all this stuff. You're passing forward something that ain't going to work out for them when they try it. That they're going to be shunned for passing forward from here. And y'all think it's harmless because today is what matters. And I am the center of the universe. And everything revolves around me so long as I do what I do. I don't care what happens to them as long as I don't step on the toes of those who are in control of the bigger picture. The powers that be are not touchable and all this other godlessness. Godlessness. When you have knowledge of a living God, you know there's no one better than you. Especially the entities that have rigged the world to believe as if they're greater than everybody else. They're beneath you. They're below you. In the eyes of the one who created us all. He respects them less for the things they engage in. And the longer they engage in it, the more beneath you they become. The more they pass that stuff forward to their kids, the more likely they're going to be shunned for that same energy. And it not working out for their children. Same application. It's harmful. And so that's what I'm telling y'all, man. I say free Palestine, glory to the martyrs. It's because I understand that they were sacrifices for the understanding that I had an option to be something greater than what it is I was told I was supposed to be. That I wasn't just going to be whatever they told me just because I'm this in this area or that in that area. I could be greater, and it didn't have to be measured by the measures of the enemy. The enemy told me I needed to get in this gang. The enemy told me I need to smoke this weed. The enemy told me I need to drink this. The enemy told me I need to try to find that girl for the wrong reasons. And the enemy told me all types of stuff. Focus on spending my time a certain way instead of spending it with God. The enemy told me I need to guard against all different types of goodness because it ain't to be trusted. And everybody around me wants to get something from me when they're not even thinking about me in these cases unless I do something that puts a target on my back. Otherwise, people are going to leave you alone for the most part. And yet, we taught to fear one another, hate one another, judge one another, all different types of stuff, man. Cheat one another for the greater dollar amount that ultimately comes from doing whatever, however, man. That stuff is toxic. Doesn't work for your kids. Won't play out the same way for them. When it work for you, it ain't gonna work for them. They're gonna be shunned for the stuff you were praised for. And that's what you need to get ahead of. BDF 44, thank you all for watching.